Hello. We are a minute late, so it's afternoon on Tuesday. I'm going to be coming to you with Lauren from Popped.NYC, and we're going to be talking about cannabis and CBD and all those great things. Lauren and I continued to overlap in a bunch of networking groups. Hey, Chris, thanks for always showing up. And I went live with her followers a few weeks ago, and I just love her products. I think she's awesome. I'm really excited for her to share a little bit about Popped.NYC with you guys. And I know so many of you are active and enthusiastic CBD users for anything from sleep to anxiety to pain. I'm really excited to see where that industry is headed in the next little bit. Sorry for being late. I'm hoping Lauren will be here any minute. This is the second week in a row where I've had tech issues. Jump on here and cannot see how to go live and have to uninstall the app and reinstall it. So thanks for nothing, Instagram. And hopefully Lauren will be jumping on any second. If you guys don't know about Popped, I will share the information in the caption from this video so you guys can follow along with their awesome startup. Lauren's a mom in New York City. Oh, maybe my Wi-Fi is down, guys. Are you here? Hello, Alfonso. Running a few minutes late today, having some tech issues. I see that my computer is shutting down, and I'm hoping that Lauren's not having trouble joining because I can't see my email to see if she is. Hello, Alfonso. Are you going to give me an update? There we are. Hey, Lauren. Sorry for being late. Let's go live with you. And hopefully this will work since I've had a tech issue day. Lauren, I just sent you the request, hopefully. Hello.
Hello, Kristen. It's so nice to see you.
It's great to see you too. Sorry I'm a few minutes late. This is the second week in a row where I've gone to go live and it's not even an option. And I have to deinstall the app and then install it again. And my Wi-Fi shut down in the middle of that. I was like, oh, I'm really having a moment. But we're here.
No, it's not you. It's not you. It's definitely Instagram, but we're here now, and I'm so glad to be with you.
Yeah, you too. I was just doing a quick introduction that I feel like we overlapped multiple times. And I was always like, I need to know her, and was excited to go on your IG, and I'm really thrilled because the breast cancer community, I mean, let's be honest, everybody now is really excited about cannabis and all the different potential applications with everything from sleep aid to pain management. So do you want to do like a quick intro about you and your company?
Sure. So I'm Lauren Forsch. I'm the founder and CEO of a company called Popped.NYC. We make CBD products, all natural, handmade, and I formulated them, made them myself. My husband helps me in the kitchen. We're really just, I was a graphic designer before, so I think we've created a polished look, but we're still just a little tiny mom and pop, just doing it all it's kind of like a Lucy and Ethel episode in my kitchen sometimes. Hey, Luke, nice to see you there. And my friend Lizzie, another fourth floor member, Lizzie Klein. I'm wearing her cannabis charm necklace.
Oh,
from
awesome.
So.
Yeah,
And so I'm based in New York City. I have had a history of cancer in my family. My father had cancer in his throat, a rare kind, salivary cancer, when I was 10 years old. And I'm 44 years old, and I just had an epiphany that I have been waiting 34 years to have cancer. I just thought that was my birthright,
right.
that I would inherit, you inherit from your parents all the good and all the bad. And I realized I was really holding my breath about it. And I think that actually led me to some real serious issues with chronic pain. And that's why I started my company. I was dealing with chronic pain, inflammation. I want to say it was self-inflicted. That's the New Yorker in me, but I think society has done a great job. I studied advertising, and I was always a big fan of advertising. But if we look at the messages that we were sent as young women, that we weren't good enough, as we were. So it's nice to see you here. I just got off another call with a woman, naturally beautiful, not wearing a lot of makeup, a lot of hair products, a lot of anything, just kind of being our best selves. I did put on a little makeup because, it's you. And
I put on a little blush, and when it came on, I was like, oh, I look like a clown. A little too much, maybe.
No, I love a pink cheek. I do. I'm a sucker for it. I can't say enough about it. Let me turn on this light and see. I'm not.
Oh, do you have a fancy light? I love it. I stand in front of a bunch of windows.
Oh,
there you go.
Yeah, the window is behind me. I do not have a fancy light. I have a bare light bulb, which I would show you, but then I would have to move my phone, and that could be a whole situation. So.
I think the bare light bulb was the original light ring, right? It was just like, it takes away all the wrinkles. It's perfect.
Exactly. Yeah. Forget makeup. Just walk around with a light in front of you.
Yeah, I think it works. Well, I'm really glad to have you on. And I think you're totally right. Anyone who has cancer in their family, it's this sort of like black cloud that follows you around where you're just sort of waiting to find out that you have it too. And I also think there's so much to be said for the messages we were sent as young women, and in how many ways we haven't been good enough. And happy to be, I think, part of the tide change here, that you can show up as you are, and that's how you look, with whatever hair that you have, with whatever pain that you have, with whatever baggage that you have. And there are people who will make you feel less isolated in the way that you're showing up, and finding communities, which is one of the great parts about, I think, social media. And, I'm going to do a shout out to the Fourth Floor too, because I think they do such a good job professionally of being like, hey, where are you? And how can we help you move further along? So psyched to be doing that. But let's talk more about cannabis, because I think it's becoming less of a dirty little secret, that everybody uses it for so many different things. And I think within the breast cancer community, it feels like a thing that you have to find somebody, you have to talk about what your issue is, and then another person who's been through it is like, oh, you should know about Lauren's body butter or whatever it is. It's not something that your doctor necessarily tells you about. It's not something a nurse navigator is like, oh, these are the brands that are made by women who've had these experiences. Like, it's hard, it's still hard to find. So, what does the future look like of finding new people and educating them and really getting more awareness about how it helps?
Well, I know that when I entered this market, my goal was to really keep education at the forefront. I do have a lot of ties to education within my family and my career. So that was important to me. Something that when I worked at Scholastic, the children's publisher, something that really I loved about them was edutainment, combining education and entertainment, which we're seeing so much of right now. And I think that with cannabis, especially, there's an opportunity for that. But I've already seen in some shows that have cannabis, they're failing for those teachable moments where there could be some. And so that's where I come in, and I don my blazer and my professional look, and I say, listen to me, I know what I'm talking about. I don't know everything, but this is what I know. And here's some things. It's going to be a journey. I think that's with any health issue you have, with any personal struggle you have in your life, it's about your journey, which when I first heard that word, I was like, oh God, here come the hippies, right? The journey, because I'm going to work, I'm carrying my briefcase, and it's definitely changed me. It's definitely mellowed me out being part of the cannabis community. And I think that's a good thing. I think we could all kind of use that. I think what this pandemic is teaching us is do less.
Yeah.
It's not actually necessary to do all the things that we do. And I think I had another big epiphany, which was the reason I keep myself so busy is because we all know what's ahead of us, death. That's it, right? But it doesn't have to be morbid. It has to be like, look at all these great things I'm going to do before I die. But I don't have to pack them all in today. If I don't get to them all, so be it. Wasn't meant to be, right? And well, I'm not a big it was or wasn't meant to be, but sometimes in conversation it's appropriate.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean,
no, go ahead.
Oh, No, I was just gonna say I couldn't agree with you more about the sort of like pandemic slowing down and figuring out what are the things that you have to do. And I know you have kids at home too, and it's like, all right, well, if I'm on 24/7, what are the ways that I'm gonna show up for work and for my kids and for myself? And that balance really changed. And I'm hoping that in the long term, the things that changed for the good that I can maintain. I'm
Yeah,
saying that like double crossed fingers.
I agree. And I think that's saying, well, if I can't make time for myself for self, except obviously if you have very young children and there's a child care issue, but my children are old enough that they can, it's not my favorite, I don't feel great about it, but they can sit in front of the screen for 12 hours and I can close my door and just go, today is my day off.
Yeah.
And it's mind-blowing. It is not what I didn't think that was an option, but I'm in charge. I'm in charge of me. You're in charge of you.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to take that opportunity. But you did ask me about cannabis, so I'm just going to circle back to that.
Yeah, please.
So I think a couple things that are important when you are shopping for CBD is to find out what kind of CBD is right for you. There are 3 different kinds on the market right now. There is full spectrum, broad spectrum, and isolate. Isolate is like taking, let's say you've got a piece of fruit, right? In it, you've got vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin D, and then you've got one really great ingredient, sugar. That's our, let's call that our THC here. You can isolate, you can get a vitamin E pill, you can get a multivitamin pill. An isolate product, which is what we use here at Popped, is only the CBD. And the reason we do that is because we want you to only experience anti-inflammatory, because we know that there's a lot of people who haven't tried any sort of CBD product or cannabis product before and are a little nervous. Maybe they had a bad experience with cannabis. They don't want to get high. So our products are for people who are like, I don't know, I'm a little nervous. There's nothing to be nervous about here because our products will not get you high. A broad spectrum product will also not get you high. A full spectrum product will have THC in it. But what's federally legal is only 0.3%. It's a very small amount. But if you live in a state where recreational or medical is legal, you can access as much THC as you want. And that's another reason why our product is only CBD, because there is going to be so much THC available to so many people. It's important to get the CBD. And why are we using CBD? It's an anti-inflammatory. So that means that it reduces inflammation. And I'm not a doctor and the FDA does not approve this, but what we're seeing is that inflammation is life, and too much inflammation causes death, right?
Right.
Causes, so you don't want to be too uninflamed. You don't want to take too much or you'll, but not really. It will cause you drowsiness, but I over-exaggerate with that. So,
yeah, no, that was really helpful.
Yeah, okay. So
I
those
think,
are the types.
yeah, that was a really helpful and very clear explanation. And I think there are people who are hesitant to try it for one reason or another. And I think inflammation is kind of a buzzword right now. Like we hear about it with diets, we hear about it with different things we're supposed to eat or not supposed to eat or take or not supposed to take. And that's what I love about your products so much, is they're so safe and you kind of can't argue with the result. You sent me a little gift in the mail and I was like, oh, I can't wait to use it. And I put it on my dresser and literally the next day I fell down my stairs and I was bruised all down my back, like totally bit it. If there was a falling Olympics, it was like gold medal quality fall. And I used the body butter down my back and it felt so much better. And I was like, I don't know where I was going to use this before, but it was like the perfect thing at the perfect moment. And I think, it's just worth trying. If you take too much Advil, which feels like it's just part of my life now that I'm getting close to 40, I'm like, where's my Advil? I need it. I need to know where it is. I have to have it. And if there's other kind of safer ways to do it, where you're even just switching it up, it feels smart to try.
what I'll do when I have a headache is I will use the body butter on my temples, or this is really good, the roller ball, because you can just
Hmm.
put it kind of wherever. And I'll use that and I'll wait about 15 minutes to see how much relief I can get. My official diagnosis is that it makes you give 2 fucks less. So if you can measure your pain beforehand and it's an 8, you wait a few minutes and you're like, do I feel a difference? Wow, 6, yeah, 2 fucks less. So
That's
that's
great.
that's my scientific approach to it. And then yeah, so I use that, and then I see if I can kind of go, okay, well, do I need to use a stronger thing? And I'm here to mix all the things. Not everything that doctors are telling us is garbage. And I'm not a doctor hater. I'm not a Western medicine hater. I think that I take an antidepressant every day, but and I need it, and I'm glad I have it. But I don't think that everything we've been taught. I think you have to take everything with a grain of salt and do your own research. Obviously, with cancer, it's very scary, but I think I learned that from my dad's cancer experience, because when he did have his diagnosis, they went to 3 different hospitals, my parents, to figure out what was the best course of action. And the first one, University of Florida in Gainesville, they wanted to do radiation. That was their standard. And then they went to MD Anderson in Texas, and they had a radical approach, which was to try to remove the cancer and then see if chemo and radiation were necessary. And he, I don't think he had any chemo. I think he had radiation. And I was 10. I'll have to ask, but that that ability to look at it differently and say, is this the best way for me to treat it? I'm really touched by your bravery and honesty about your medical decisions. I actually was just flipping through and saw the post of you in your bra. I was like, oh, so cute, so adorable. Yeah, I was like,
Thanks.
oh, I wish I had little boobies. Like, I had a reduction actually, because after I gave birth, my left breast actually like touched the bottom of my rib cage. So I was like,
I mean, it happens. Yeah,
yeah,
I think figuring out how to advocate for yourself is so, so important. And it's great that your parents gave you that example. I don't know that everybody has that. You know, some people grew up in households where whatever the doctor said, and I love doctors. I have lots of great friends who are doctors. Same disclaimer, nothing disparaging against them, but they're people, right? And it's a relationship. It's probably going to be a long-term relationship, and you should feel comfortable. You should get second opinions. You should do
yeah,
research that includes about any alternative therapies. And, I'm also a huge proponent of talking to your doctor about the alternative therapies that you're trying, including CBD. And anytime that I've talked to my doctors about it, they've been like, yeah, of course. Yeah, try that. I'm like, well, why don't you tell me to try it? Like there's only so much we can expect each individual person to do and know about. So just glad that you're out there. And just to wrap it up, I would love to hear about what you think the future is for Popped, or are there new products that you're thinking about, or what do you see as the next step for you?
that's a great question. Well, we just decided to create our own bath bombs. It's something I had thought about for a long time, and so we're now bringing the manufacturing in house. And I was not sure how I felt about it until I found biodegradable body glitter.
Ooh,
Yeah. So
love
I was
it.
like, I love glitter. See our little glittery container here.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but glitter gets a bad rap. It's banned at festivals now. But what I'm trying to do is make pain fun. We can't. There's only so much you can do for someone who has chronic pain, who lives with it, who has an injury or a disease that is not going to let them be pain free. There's a lot of limitations. When I had my shoulder injury, I was not able to dry my hair. I was not able to do a lot of the vanity things that I like, that make me happy. And so I was also out of work, so I was really trying to be budget conscious. So if the goal of Popped is to innovate ways to kind of keep up with what the current trends are, but not the ones that are popular, the ones that are smart, sustainable, and I'm a do-gooder.
Effective. Yeah.
Effective.
Awesome.
Yeah. So So if this little roller ball has effective ingredients inside, but it also makes you happy when you take it out, that's going to change your hormonal and that's going to change your brain chemicals, and it's going to produce serotonin or all sorts of other good chemicals, and it's going to help you in your day to day instead of maybe an ugly. I've seen a lot of pharmaceutical. There's such an opportunity in cannabis to make it beautiful, and I think we've all seen some stuff that looks like, why would I want to use that? It's so boring. And you feel like medical should be, right? Health should be super cut and dry. But I'm kind of here to, that's why we use the recyclable, reusable jar and the compostable spoon. And this is even recyclable as a hair tie and reusable box. And all these things, we want to give opportunities for creativity, because the best thing you can do for pain is to keep your mind off of it.
Yeah. I love it. So good. Well, thanks so much for the time. I'll link to you in the comments here, but is there anything else, anywhere else people should follow you or look for you?
You can email me if you have any personal questions, Lauren at Popped.NYC, Popped, or our website is Popped, Popped.NYC. And with the code Brilliantly, you can save 10%.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Lauren. And I'm sure I'll be running into you virtually all the time still.
I can't wait till we can hug.
I know, me too. Soon.
I bet you're a great hugger.
Okay. I love hugs. I can't wait. All right. Have a great day.
You too. Bye.
Bye-bye.